What is Stranding? Well, there's Sam, so it's death. Death is Stranding. Let's go ahead and get our customary Gordon glasses on. Drink up. Last time we completed, I think, chapter 6. So we're on chapter 7 now. Ended with us getting pulled into a World War II beach. And we have BB back, who we've learned Sam likes to call Lou. I guess it wants us to take a shower.
Sam, do you copy? As you might have suspected, time here stopped while you two were on that battlefield. If my thinking is correct, the dimension to which you traveled is a kind of beach. To explain a little, our bodies, our ha, all occupy the same world, but our souls, our ka, have beaches all their own. These beaches are given form inside our brains by our beliefs, religion, philosophy, and so forth. As a result, a beach can be anything, and those anythings form a multiverse. However, if many people die at once, their beaches can become entangled, creating a strand field. This phenomenon is exacerbated in wartime by omnipresent feelings of resentment and despair. Beaches are more easily and frequently entangled. On such a beach, exits vanish and experiences cycle endlessly. Picture it like a record player. The needle skips, playing the same phrase again and again. They're fighting a battle that has no beginning or end. Round and round it goes. Now, the battlefield you visited was in Eastern Europe in World War II. Which is strange, given that the man you encountered, Clifford Unger, played no part in that conflict. I can't explain it, but if you can connect me to the chiral network, who knows what we might discover.
EX grenade number 0.
Still there, Sam? If so, I have a request. When you're ready, head upstairs to the delivery terminal.
Maybe not the most relaxing shower with the scientist yelling in our ear the whole time, but we learned about why that. The explanation, there's always got to be an explanation in these Kojima games for everything. It's nice that the people in this world don't have to worry about the hard problem of mind-body dualism. It's just scientifically proven because of how beaches work and Death Stranding and everything. So that's one question that philosophers don't need to think about, at least. Anyway, let's figure out where we are to go next. Mountain Knot City. Let's catch up on mail. So we're just starting a new chapter. Aaron Hill, Dead Man's Stuff. Sorry to bother you, Sam. I know you must be busy. I wonder if you could go and fetch a few things of Dead Man's. You can remember the cabin you arranged to meet at, right? Well, the cabin itself got blown away by the supercell, but Dead Man's winter coat and boots should be somewhere nearby. Could you go pick them up and bring them to Mountain Knot City? It's standard issue Bridges kit, but in a custom-made size. You can take the order at the delivery terminal at Mountain Knot City. It'd be great if you could help out with this one. I know, another day, another errand. But I hope you understand we're not just asking you to handle other folks' dirty work. No one else can do what you do. You realize that, don't you? And it's not me misreading it. They really did write help up out with this one. So, the Mountaineer. We had a boy. And do you have power gloves? Big news, Sam. We've just welcomed a new life into the world. A baby boy. Both him and the missus are doing fine. In fact, they're sleeping peacefully next to me as I write this message. I know you're a busy man, though, so I won't go on and on about us. Besides, there's something else I've been meaning to tell you. I don't want to be presumptuous, and I know you're the best porter there is, but even you must have found it tough making deliveries up in these snowy mountains, right? Well, have you tried using power gloves? They can be a real game changer, let me tell you. If you lose your footing and start to slip, the gloves will help you catch yourself before you slide right off a cliff. They make decent weapons, too, if things get hairy. Just bear in mind that they drain your battery, so be sure to keep an eye on that. And hey, don't tell me you've never wanted to rock a set of metal claws like an action hero, Sam. You know, I've got a feeling you're going to be a real role model for my boy when he's older. Of course, it's down to all of us, myself included, to make the world a better place for him and future generations. I know you feel the same. Let's not let them down, Sam. And couple new interviews. 3 to be exact. From the report on the void out in Manhattan number 1. Who the hell? Those were the doctor's final words. At the time, no one knew to whom he was referring, and to be fair, there were more pressing issues at hand. The doctor in question was a surgeon specializing in cesarean sections. The procedures he was undertaking at the time, however, was slightly unusual, in that he was operating on a mother who had been declared brain dead 7 months into her pregnancy. She had been placed on life support, but since her blood pressure was decreasing and the fetus was showing signs of bradycardia, the decision was made to operate. Because the procedure was broadcast to medical researchers on a closed-circuit network, we are fortunate to have a record of what took place. Per the footage, the incision was made without incident. The plan was apparently to remove the fetus from the womb and immediately place it in a NICU, where it could receive the necessary care. Prior to this, the surgeon would of course have to cut the umbilical cord. This is the moment that changed everything. The moment the surgeon's hand touched the cord. In that instant, he uttered his infamous last words. Who the hell? Following a number of tests and experiments, the conclusion was reached that this incident was an annihilation event brought about by the doctor's contact with whatever or whomever he had seen upon touching the umbilical cord, though it eventually became apparent that the doctor had been referring to BTs. At the time, no one could explain the underlying cause of the incident. Some later theorized that if the same conditions, brain-dead mother, fetus, umbilical cord, could be recreated, then BTs could be detected, and the mystery of the Death Stranding would be solved. Indeed, this was the theoretical basis upon which the government's own experiments and investigations would be conducted. They called the fetuses they used bridge babies, and the experiments became known as the BB experiments. Soon after the government's program got underway, the tragedy of Manhattan occurred. The BB experiments were conducted at a Manhattan-based government facility, in such extreme secrecy that little is known about them to this day. One thing that we do know for certain, however, is that the experiments ended in tragic failure, and were directly responsible for the total annihilation of the island of Manhattan, as well as the death of the president, who had been observing operations firsthand. He was succeeded by then Vice President Bridget Strand, who shortly after her inauguration put an end to all further BB experiments and had all data destroyed. With her strong and steadfast leadership in the wake of the Void Out, she made great strides in quelling the chaos and unrest that had spread throughout the nation. She vowed to rebuild America and devoted herself wholeheartedly to this end. In response, separatists who opposed Reconstruction emerged and steadily grew more aggressive in their activities. One faction even managed to acquire documents relating to the BB experiments, and some speculate that this data was used to restart them in secret. At that time, however, no BB units are known to have been successfully created, and BBs in general remained a taboo subject in government circles. Well, as usual, we cannot access our map, so we've got to leave the private room.
Can I help you? Holy shit. John, is that you? What are you doing here? My wife's checked in. I don't want to repeat of last year. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were
Appeared to be Heartman in that cutscene.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. All weapons will remain locked until departure. All clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
So we have nothing. Last time we came out,
Beginning scan. Have a
They-
pleasant order, Sam.
did us the favor of putting all of our stuff on the ground, but this time, no.
Decontaminating suit.
Okay then.
Sam, the west side of that region is covered by a massive tar belt. Beyond it is Edgenot City, the last bastion of civilization you'll find that far out. It's your final destination. Once you use the Cupid to connect it, the chiral network will span the entire continent. The rebirth of America is so close. And remember, that's where Amelie is being held captive. We need you to bring her home safely. But before you cross the tar belt, there's one more knot we need you to tie. Heartman will help you get it done.
Sam, I'd like for you to bring me a few things. First, the dog tags you took from that soldier. Tuck them away in a pocket so you don't misplace them. Second, Mama's corpse. Her body shows no signs of necrosis, and I, for one, would like very much to know the reason why. Closer study may yield information that could prove instrumental in helping us to overcome the Death Stranding. Suffice it to say,
1 minute remaining.
I don't have much time. See to your preparations. I'll be waiting. You'll find an official order on the terminal.
Someone needs to remind Heartman that it's Amelie, not Amelie. There's that obnoxious exclamation mark yet again. Just gotta ignore it. Ah, a corpse delivery. Our favorite. And that, well, it doesn't get much more precarious than that, does it?
Like Heartman told you before, he wants you to deliver Mama's body to his lab. Hers is an exceptionally rare case, and he'd like to perform a thorough examination. Hopefully, it'll help us to better understand the Death Stranding. So you know, the Sisters Ka have given their consent. They won't be needing this Ha anymore.
We should check what's in the private locker, and then start fabricating. And we should probably get a trike. Yep.
All right, Sam. Take care of her. And don't worry, she won't go necro. Millingen's special. Be funny if these Ha of ours ended up being the key to saving us all.
Order assigned.
So, let's take a look at possible routes. There's the more direct route, which has us... Oh, there's a zip line. But I don't see anything in range. So if we go up here, just thinking about where we could take the trike, we can go through here, and then we hit a rocky area here that's probably not passable. Won't know until we get there. And then we can go around and down. So that's one possibility. Another would be not great. As we get further in this valley, I don't think it's going to be easier to go this way. Sure, if we can get here, we can probably go through here and then just drop down. But I think it's more promising. Gotta make sure to remove any markers. Never know when it saved the markers versus gotten rid of them without my consent. They love to do that. So this is the point where we play it by ear. If we have to get off the trike, we will. I don't know. Maybe this is an option. Definitely want to trike. The question is, do we go long range or use the one that can store stuff? The reason, because we're delivering a body, it could make sense to use the trike that actually has storage, so we can take a little bit more with us. So let's do that. It's just throwing me off that it says we own one, because normally that count is based on what we have locally. So we're gonna have one trike, and we are... Oh, I need to check what's in our locker. It might have just stuffed everything in. Yeah. A lot of stuff. So we want to take our customary 4 blood bags, which should fit in a pouch. And that's it for the back, I think. The only thing we can do beyond that is we have these 4 suit harnesses. What do we want on our person? We want weapons. I have to do it. I have to individually. Oh, we can also... We can't attach to suit. What about this? Yeah, that'll just swap it out. Carry by hand. It will let us carry something on back. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I think we lost our boot clip, so go ahead and add those. Oh, and we have to... Did it unequip our power gloves? Yeah, we don't even have our suit equipped. Wow. So, all-terrain skeleton is essential because we might encounter snow. Power gloves. Boot clip. And we have 2 assault rifles. Let's take hematic grenades. I guess we never got beyond level 1. These we might be able to attach to suit because they're small. So let's just go ahead and attach 4 of them. Oh, can we not do it in bulk? That's unfortunate. Where is it actually being attached? I don't know. Oh, okay. That's why. It doesn't show us until we get to the next menu. How are we gonna do this? Pretty straightforward. Okay, so we're kitted out with some weapons. Depending on who we encounter, we're pretty much prepared. And we should take some utilities with us. If we do have to dismount, we need options. So, PCC, ladder, and a climbing anchor should do. Never found myself using any of this other stuff. So we'll put that on the trike. And it can take even more. But let's leave it at that. The terrain did look pretty rocky, so I might actually bring another ladder just to be safe. I wish we didn't have to go to a separate menu to do that. Yeah, let's just bring one extra ladder. Okay. Auto arrange. Not sure what that would have done. All right, we're all set.
Beginning scan. Have a pleasant journey. Keep on keeping up. Weapons restrictions listed.
So because we have not the long range version, we need to be very stingy with battery. And at least we have BB now, so no more invisible BTs.
Okay.
But
There you go, Speedy.
what we learned from that whole ordeal was we don't even need to fight BTs. Just speed on past them.
Go around or double back?
Nonsense. We can do it. I know we can.
Yeah,
This is nothing. This is nothing. Okay.
Not like this.
We can take a hint. Well, that's unfortunate. Do we need to rethink our loadouts? Or try a different route? What if we go over here? Where's custom marker B? Yeah. Here we are. Let's try this route. I think we're not getting there on the trike.
I wonder if anyone's watching.
What about here? Yeah, maybe just a bit precarious. Although I suppose we could plunge down. I mean, it's just a body delivery. It's kind of a one-way trip. It's a one-way path is kind of fine. Just mountain bike our way down here. Easy. That sign might be trolling us. Traversable in truck. It does point out that we are able to steal mule trucks and drive them around. We aren't able to print them, at least not yet. Not with this very limited amount of side quests that I've been doing.
Okay, there you go, Speed Demon.
Easy. Nice and easy.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear.
Clearly the intended route.
All weapons locked until departure. All clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
We won't have this issue as much getting back. Since we won't have this body, we can just walk, or we could even teleport.
Delivery complete. Displaying performance evaluation. Request to join UCA. Registered. Awaiting Cupid connection. proceed into the facility with the cadaver. Good work. Please proceed into the facility with the cadaver.
Heartman.
Administering shock. Stand clear.
Well, you certainly caught me with my pants down. Glad you could make it, Sam. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to alarm you, but I am what I am. Ah, please, lay her down there. Still no sign of them.
You know your heart stops beating.
It stops every 21 minutes. I spend 3 minutes on the beach, and then return. 60 deaths and 60 resurrections per day. 60 opportunities to search the beach for my departed family. This is how I live. This is my life. So, while you've traveled to and from the seam an impressive number of times, my beach count is a little higher. 218,549. I see myself in that crater. My wife and my child. It's like looking at the shape of my heart. The doctors called it myocardial cordiformia. Mine is an especially unusual case. I have pictures. Care to see Heartman's heart-shaped heart? No, you really should. It doesn't run in the family. You know, I never came to terms with their loss. In the days that followed, I became obsessed with an idea that the beach is real and they are on it. I would induce cardiac arrest, 3 minutes at a time, and search for them, day after day after day.
Also, you could say goodbye.
Quite the opposite. It is said that everyone's beach is different. So what if everyone's afterlife is different too? I find the thought terrifying, spending eternity alone, which is why I decided to find my family and make sure to move on with them.
You mean die with them?
If death would see us reunited, then yes. But the repeated cardiac arrests took their toll on my heart. The muscle gradually deformed. And after a while, they started calling me the beach scientist. Heartman. I'm glad we could have this conversation. Oh. A body that doesn't necrotize. No sign of decomposition. It's as if she were still alive. The perfect mummy. An impeccable corpse.
What's wrong?
Where's the other thing you were supposed to bring? Ah, found it. Behold.
Wait, dead man.
It appears to be an umbilical cord. Human by the looks of it, I think. But this was no ordinary conduit between fetus and placenta. It looks more like a BT's tether. And this was Mama's? Yes. A body that doesn't necrotize and an umbilical cord connected to the beach. These are remarkable discoveries, Sam. Enough to set my sore heart racing.
5 minutes to cardiac arrest.
I apologize if our conversation gets cut short. I must go back to the beach and look for my wife and child. One person, one beach. That's the rule. But I'm the exception. My beach is connected to others, as if it were the beneficiary of a coronary bypass. Maybe this twisted heart of mine made it possible. All I know is that I will find them. Even if my every visit raises new questions, I'll have my answers one day. One day.
3 minutes to cardiac arrest.
The battlefields. The endless wars you found yourself trapped in. Why do World War-era soldiers wander the beach a century after they fell? Normally, the souls of the dead move on. The beach is just a corridor, a place through which they pass on the way to the other side. But if regret, resentment, a fervent desire to remain, if these feelings are powerful enough, they may give rise to an altogether different beach, a collective purgatory for an army of the damned. Clifford Unger. His misery and hatred, combined with your BB acting as some sort of catalyst, have brought these battlefields to our world.
2 minutes to cardiac arrest. Please proceed to a safe location.
It's just a theory.
You think Higgs is pulling the strings? Pulling all their strings?
Ensure you are in a stable position.
I don't know. But evidence does suggest that Higgs brought them here.
1 minute remaining. Please hold on to something secure.
Oh, before I forget, I have a favor to ask.
Activating lab security measures.
Could you just relax until I come back? Time stops on the beach, but not in the scene. Rest assured, it'll only feel like 3 minutes to you. We'll continue this shortly.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So that explains why everything is padded in case he doesn't make it. There are some exceptions though, like there's hardwood floor here, there's all these glass displays, there's stairs, wood, furniture. What are we doing here? Can't move. It keeps prompting me to zoom in like there's something I should see. He likes some of those books so much that he has multiple copies of them. It's odd that I can zoom in on some of these.
Administering shock. Stand clear.
No luck. Visit 218,550. Oh, sorry. Where were we? I may be used to the 21-minute cycle, but for a first-time face-to-face meeting, there's just too much to cover in one go-around.
Can't be easy living like this.
Yes. And no. Now that I'm acclimated to it, it isn't especially, onerous. Defecation, pollution, nutrition. Most of life's basic functions fit rather easily into a 21-minute time slot. Sleep is the tricky one. And intercourse, I suppose. Verbal or physical. Not that someone in my position has to worry much about either. Do you read, Sam? Listen to music. Watch films? You know, I keep busy. I have a collection of music, television shows, some very interesting short films, and stories. Everything consumable within a 21-minute window. All from before the Death Stranding, of course. But honestly, the 21 minutes I spend here, all downtime, nothing more. Time spent waiting to go back to the search. My body may be present, but my soul is on the beach. I'm already dead.
I know that feeling. Lost my family in an accident.
Well, I never expected you to open up to me. As it happens, I've read about your circumstances. I lost my family in an accident, too. I was in the ICU having heart surgery, out of town, in the city. When it was clear that I was going to pull through, my wife took my daughter back to the house to collect some things for me. And then they were caught in the void outs. The city and the hospital were spared the worst, but the shockwave knocked out the power and my life support. I woke up on the beach. The people who died in the 2 void outs were there. What happened? What's going on? I saw my wife and my daughter in the procession. Hey! It's me! Where are you going? Wait! Don't leave without me! No! Don't go! Please, don't go! The ICU's backup generator kicked in, and I was brought back to life by the defibrillator. Exactly 21 minutes after my heart had stopped. And that was the last time I saw my family. It's my damned heart's fault that we were torn apart, but it's also the reason I'll see them again someday. It defines me. I am Heartman. Ever since, I've walked the beaches of others. I follow my family's footsteps for a while, and when I get tired, I return here to continue my research. It's funny though, even when my heart stops, the pain lingers. You have any family photographs, Sam? Pity.
5 minutes to cardiac arrest.
You mind telling me what I'm doing here before you go back to the beach?
Oh, of course. There's a prep-your-own station in this area. Our scientists stationed there are researching material from before the Death Stranding.
What kind of material?
The Earth has a long memory. It's trying to tell a story, one that goes back to the very beginning, one that not even the Death Stranding could erase. The scientists are all colleagues of mine from the earlier expedition. I'd like you to bring them onto the chiral network. Amelie proposed we establish our research posts along this belt. Despite a worldwide search, this is the only area known to contain fossils from the late Cretaceous period, when the dinosaurs died out. The assumption being that the last ones lived here, and here alone. You see, hiding in the Earth then are memories of a major mass extinction. Clues that could tell us how to survive our predicament. Certainly, that was Amelie's hope as part of the advanced team when she assigned our backup team here. The past informs the present and aids us in building the future. She was careful to impress that upon us before she went west.
3 minutes to cardiac arrest.
Shut up. I'm putting you on mute. Sometime later, we began to observe unusual activity in the tar belts outside Edgenot City. Vast quantities of tar began surfacing, spreading, consuming many of my colleagues, as well as a chiral way station. The whole incident defied explanation.
You think Higgs is to blame?
I don't know, but we needed that way station. It was essential to expanding the chiral network westward. That's why I'm asking you for your help in building a new one. It won't be much given the handful of equipment we've managed to scrape together. Nothing like the knot cities, that's for sure. But a knot is still a knot. Sam, I want you to use the Cupid to put the scientists on the network, then go to Armory. Afterwards, we can get back to the important job of researching the deaths.
Don't worry about him, Sam. The air mat floor absorbs the impact. I'll unlock the door for you.
Sam, you heard him. You can grab the order at a delivery terminal.
Well, that was interesting. Finally got more information about Heartman and confirmation of his little device that we saw. And I think that's a good stopping point before we get sucked into anything else. So, see you next time with more Death Stranding.